All right, what's up, guys? This is Movie Critic Rob here with TV Lover and Movie Lovers Unite lead admin, JohnDiGregorio. And we just wanted to do a quick little video for you guys talking about some new stuff, as there have been a lot of stuff coming down the pipe as of yesterday and today. So we just wanted to take some time off of our day and talk about it and share it with you guys. So, how are you, John?
I'm doing good. How about you, Roberta?
I am doing well. I was absolutely flabbergasted by all the stuff we got yesterday. I was like, oh, and there's this video. Oh, and there's this video. Oh my gosh, it's Suicide Squad. I went absolutely nuts. And by my own admission, I like Marvel over DC, but yesterday it was like DC came to play and I like it.
Right. It was like nothing
What is it?
It was like nothing but DC stuff. Like bam, they hit.
Oh, I know.
When you think they were done with one video, there was another video. Whenever you thought was that, there was the trailer for the Suicide Squad trailer. Everything was just blowing out of the water yesterday.
Yeah, I like how they did the little featurettes for each of the characters in the Justice League, since we now know that Batman v Superman is going to have the Justice League at the end of the movie. At least that's what's been said. But this is kind of confirmation to that fact, because, I mean, Justice League isn't coming out for another year and a half, I think. So there's no point in doing what they did unless we're going to see them at the end of the movie. All right. Yeah.
Well, another thing too, though, if you look at the trailer that we got for Batman versus Superman at that time, it actually showed all of them together, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman all together. So therefore, it kind of united them.
Right.
So therefore, we also got these guys are going to be together. But anyway.
Well, I mean, I knew that they were going to have at least the Trinity, but now it looks like we're going to get everybody, including a Green Lantern, which has not been cast. And at least if it's been cast, we haven't seen them.
Well, they think that we're going to see Green Lantern later on, but just not right now. Because they want to work on these other characters first before bringing in Green Lantern.
Right. Right. And I mean, and I think they want to distance themselves as much as possible from the last outing of Green Lantern. So it would stand to reason they'd wait a little while.
Right. So, anyways, the other piece of news that broke today was the different release dates that I noticed. With Star Wars Episode 8 moves from May 26, 2017 to December 15, 2017.
Wait, I think you got it backwards. Oh, no.
Hold on one second. All right. We're good.
All right. So, yeah, so we have a lot of release dates that have moved up. First of all, we're going to talk about Star Wars 8, which I am excited for the main reasons that they've left a lot of cliffhangers. They left a lot of things unanswered. And it was different from... And I know that people say, you know, Force Awakens was just like A New Hope, copied off A New Hope. But New Hope, what it did that Force Awakens didn't do was it left a concealed story. Like, you know, it was very rounded off, and you didn't feel like you had to continue, but they did. I'm glad they did. But with Force Awakens, you have a lot of teasers. You have, you know, Luke Skywalker showing up for the last minute of the movie. Spoilers, if you haven't seen it already. And you also had, you know, different mysteries like, okay, who is Rey related to, and who is Supreme Leader Snoke supposed to be, yada, yada, yada. All of these are really good ways to do twists, and I think that they could top the Vader twist in Empire Strikes Back if they play their cards right. Now, I'm one of the few that believe that Jar Jar was actually supposed to be Darth Plagueis, and I will hold to that. Until George Lucas tells me that I am thinking incorrectly. I just think that George Lucas didn't have the guts to go through with the original plan, and I kind of wish he did now going forward, because now with this guy could have been like, oh, dang, this could be another incarnation of Plagueis, or, you know, it could be a bunch of different things. But that being said, it is coming out now, and it has been pushed up. And second on the docket is Pirates of the Caribbean 5. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, it's the Dead Man Tells No Tales. It got moves from July 7, 2017 to May 26, 2017. Taking Star Wars.
So it took Star Wars' release date.
Right. which
Okay.
makes sense.
Now this one, what is it?
It makes sense because because it actually helps out the movie a lot, because you can actually push your movie to go ahead and make that chunk money whenever you know it's the first day. It's in May, so therefore you can make a lot of money in May and everything instead of having to wait until July to do it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
it makes
And I
sense.
think that May gives it first bite, you know, for the summer, because you know once it gets to July, everybody's like, okay, all right, cool, just another tentpole movie coming out. But if it comes out in May, I think it has a lot more staying power. I mean, I think Jurassic World came out in June, but it was early June, so it was still like, okay, you know, and that was one of the big ones for. And I loved Age of Ultron, don't get me wrong, but I think the two main tentpole films of this year were Force Awakens and Jurassic World, just because these were both franchises we haven't seen on the silver screen in a while. Jurassic World, I think it was like 12 to 15 years, and Star Wars had been 10 at this point, because I think Revenge of the Sith was 2005. But I think even Jurassic World benefited. I think because it was a big deal. I don't think it mattered when it was going to release. It was going to make a ton of money, and it did.
Well, another thing too is you have to look at it too. Like, this is not just 15 years for Star Wars Episode 8. This has been a long, long time since the original cast members from Empire Strikes Back and all that stuff came out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have 35 years of worth of stuff that you have to shove into a 2.5-hour movie to show you.
Right.
But yeah, no surprise really with the way the box numbers were for Star Wars, because it's a juggernaut of a movie. But Jurassic World really surprised me in a big way, because, you know, like you said, it was what? Last one was maybe about 2003, I think, or something like around that ballpark figure.
2001.
2001? Okay, I knew it was somewhere around
Yeah.
there. And that's a long time, if you think about it. And, you know, it's like a sleeping giant where you don't know if this movie's going to do good or not, if it's still going to hold up,
Yeah.
or fans are just going to walk away from it, or if they're going to come back to it. And they delivered.
And then if you're like me, where I was obsessed with this movie and had been keeping track of it since it was supposed to come out in 2003, I knew that Spielberg had gone through like 3 different writing teams at this point and was just like churning out. He was trying to get a good story, and I was like, see, that's what I want, is a good story. I don't care how long I have to wait, as long as when I get it in the silver screen, it's awesome. And it was. Now, did it have flaws? Absolutely. Did I enjoy it? Absolutely. It was my favorite, and it even topped Force Awakens for me in my top 5. It was actually the number 1. But I mean, I think as far as Jurassic World 2 is concerned, which I know is not coming for a while, I think that if they listen to the criticisms that they had, mainly that they need to use more practical effects and not as much CGI, I think it'd be fine. Because the story was there, and I think Jurassic Park, the franchise, benefits from a simple story.
Right.
And the main thing that you need for a Jurassic Park movie is good dinosaur effects and people that you care about, and if they die, that you care about them dying. Now, I didn't know Masrani was gonna get killed, and I was like, okay, you just killed Masrani. Cool, and you did him justice. Now, the babysitter, I knew she was gonna go. She was annoying. She was dull, and I'm like, oh, please kill her. And they did it justice. The funny thing is, when I was first watching the movie, the 2 characters that annoyed me to the core were the 2 kids. I'm like, this is the new Gennaro. This is the new lawyer from Jurassic Park that everybody wants to get eaten. And then they kind of grow me, and I'm like, okay, all right, cool. You can live.
Right.
But I wanted them to die. Especially the older kid. I thought the older kid was like, you're such an idiot.
Right.
You're so mean. Go die.
And then the
But
little
anyhow.
brother was even more annoying though too. But I could put up with him for a little bit.
The reason why I like the little kid more is because that was me at that age. So I think the movie itself was through the kids' eyes. Even the scenes that they weren't in, it was kind of like because if you think about the romance, it was so cheesy. The way that they did the romance, the way that everything was done was so over the top. And I'm thinking, this is probably what we're getting from the director. What he probably was thinking was, let's give you Jurassic Park through the eyes of a kid. And I think that's what the movie did. And that's why I don't give it as much flack as a lot of people do. It's like, oh, how do you not see Jurassic World as this is a failure? I'm like, no, it was doing it through the eyes of a kid. So,
Right.
but anyway, so Pirates 5. Let's talk about Pirates 5. I love the first 3 movies. I think they're awesome. They're classics. They're movies I grew up on and movies that actually inspired me to go into filmmaking. The first one actually came out before I did my own film trilogy, and it kind of inspired me in that regard. But the 4th one was absolutely terrible because, I mean, when you go from a character as good as Davy Jones, and I was like, ooh, Blackbeard. It's a realistic pirate. He actually lived. I was like, oh, man, they have a good chance to top Davy Jones. And it was as bland as a vanilla pudding cup. It was just awful.
I agree, and that's the same reasons why I didn't like Pirates 4. I like the first 3 Pirates movies, and I'm like, they can't possibly top any more than what they've done. They've done a fantastic job with the first 3 movies. There's no way that they can possibly top anything else. And then
the funny thing is about Pirates 4 that the thing that it succeeded in was in Jack. Everything with Jack and with the people that you knew, I loved. And even I liked the missionary guy, the character of the missionary, and Serena. I thought that was done well. The only thing I did not like at all was anything revolving around the Queen Anne's Revenge and Blackbeard's daughter. Even though I like Penelope Cruz, I thought her whole story was ridiculous. And I'm like, okay, how do you pass as Jack Sparrow?
Right.
I mean, really. Come on.
Well, that's what I felt as well, too. I mean, I felt like her character didn't build anything for me at all. You know, I felt like, okay, where are you going with this character? And what can you... I was like, you're not bringing nothing.
The only thing that I think could have strengthened her character is if at the end of the movie she pulls out a kid that's actually Jack Sparrow's kid that she's been hiding the entire film. I would have been like, that would have been the biggest thing you could have done. And they teased it when she was on the island, and I'm like, oh, you didn't do it. You didn't have the guts to do that. Why? But I thought, here's what I thought about Pirates 4. It was trying to top villain-wise everything that it had already done. I thought the Queen Anne's Revenge was trying to top the amazing Flying Dutchman, which nobody can top. I'm sorry, you just cannot. And then Blackbeard was trying to be Barbossa and Davy Jones and trying to do his own thing. And in the sword that controls the sails and the whole I was like, okay. Okay. All right. I love Barbossa, though. I thought where he went as a character made sense completely, because having gone through what he did, but in between the movies of getting his ship stolen, getting his leg cut off, I'm like, he's a guy that does things for advantage. I could see him doing what he did, and he did it. And I was like, cool. I like you, Barbossa. You're awesome. But I think, and with the 5th one, especially because Will Turner's coming back, and we know now what he's doing is, you know, what Davy Jones' old job was if he did it right. So, and we know that he probably is going to do it right. So I like, you know, bringing him back and having him part of the story because, first of all, he's part of the original, and he brings back a lot of the themes from the original, a lot of the stuff from the original. But they have a good way to do it in an original way, because now he has a kid, as we saw, if anybody saw the tag at the end of Pirates 3. And just to kind of see, since if Elizabeth isn't there, if their relationship is estranged or what, I think there's a lot of good places to go with Will's character and Jack and just everybody. And thank God that they killed Blackbeard. Yes. So the last thing on the docket is the Spider-Man reboot moves up, 2 months?
It moves up from July 28th, 2017 to July 7th. So basically...
Oh, so it just moves up like a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So...
Okay.
You know, there's nothing really much there. I mean, to be honest. I mean, I'm excited for Spider-Man, but I mean, moving it up from July 28th or whatever may strengthen the movie a little bit, but I don't see changing it up a couple of weeks or
They're
whatever.
obviously confident enough to release it almost a month before, so
Right,
I'll give them that.
right,
And from what I've heard, because Robert Downey Jr. may have given this away in an interview, that both Captain America and Tony Stark are going to be in the new one, in the new Spider-Man. So it leads me to believe that Captain America: Civil War will only be Civil War Part 1, not really stating it as that, but that Spider-Man is going to give you a whole new perspective on the continuation of Civil Wars,
right. Because
because Captain 3 is pretty much from Captain's point of view. So from what I heard is that Spider-Man will actually be the same Civil War events still going on, but it'll be the next part of it, and it'll be from Spider-Man's point of view, which I'm like, okay,
well,
okay.
if you think about it though, it's kind of like a Breakfast Club kind of thing. If you think about it, because you're having all these events going on, and then after that, it continues off of all the events that Spider-Man has been going through, and
Yeah.
so basically, that's what's going on. That's what I'm feeling.
Right. And I heard that at the point that we meet him in Civil War, he's already been operating for about a year. So he's kind of like Daredevil in a way. In that, he's just starting out. He's been doing it for a little bit, but he's kind of a novice. And from what I hear that, and this is all speculation, that he's kind of like, he sees Tony Stark as a mentor. Like he grew up idolizing Tony Stark. And that's a really good place to start with his character, because then Tony Stark would approach him, probably give him the Iron Spider, fingers crossed for that, and it'll give him a good place to come into the whole MCU mess that has been brought on to this point, and go forward into Infinity Wars. He'll probably do, and become an Avenger. So I think there's a lot of good places they can take it. I think that now, because Kevin Feige has his hand in the pot instead of just Sony that likes to mess it up over and over again. Here's looking at you, Amazing Spider-Man 1, Amazing Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 3. You stink.
Right.
But they have their good points. I think that one thing that Tom Holland said is that he's gonna be borrowing obviously from past performances. And he didn't just say Andrew Garfield. He meant, he alluded that it was going to be also Tobey Maguire. And I was like, man, if they could do a Peter Parker that's reminiscent of Tobey Maguire while having a Spider-Man that's reminiscent of Andrew Garfield, and meld those two together in one character, that is the perfect Spider-Man. Because
I was thinking the same thing on that as
what
well.
is it?
I was thinking that same exact thing, to be honest. If they could actually get the personalities of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, and then also get the mannerisms of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man as well, and then clash those together, I feel like that it would be an awesome Spider-Man.
The thing is, Sam Raimi, what he did was he captured Peter Parker extremely well. Spider-Man, yes, to a point, but I think he could have been funnier, and that's what Andrew Garfield brought with his iteration of Spider-Man but he did it too much, and he made it bleed into the Peter Parker persona, which they're distinct opposites, and it's kind of like Batman in a way. Batman, you have the playboy persona, and you have the serious, brawler, like bull inside of a bat suit persona that is Batman, living in the same person. The same thing goes for Peter Parker, where you have this nerdy kid with inhibitions that's a real kid that is just shy as could be, like Tobey Maguire's was. And when he puts on the suit, he can become a completely different person. He can, gain a lot more self-esteem in the suit. And it, gives him, like, he wants to put on the suit because it gives him a whole new sense of a person, a whole new sense of identity. And if they play with that, and it's Marvel, so, I'm pretty sure they'll do Spider-Man justice. I think we're in for a good ride with the new Spider-Man. And I think Tom Holland's going to kill it. I really do.
And then after that, we also have, let's see, we also have the Jumanji remake thing with no release date at all.
Oh, Jumanji.
Yeah, I love the
Why? It's like it. This is what I don't understand. The guy, and I don't mean to be crass here, but Robin Williams just died, and so here's what you respond as: taking one of his best movies that people know, that people grew up on, and giving it to the remake junk that, oh, I mean, if they can do it, fine, great. But I think that the special effects were great at the time. Everything was great. Here's what I think about reboots in general. If you can't add to what you're doing, do not do it at all.
Right.
That's just me.
Another thing too is, I feel like this. You want to do this justice, don't remake this movie. Put it as a sequel. And forget about the other characters from the first movie. And then let it stand on its own merit without having to relate back over to Robin Williams or anything like that.
I think that a sequel would do better, honestly, too.
The game finds these other people or whatever, finds the certain people. So why not just go on ahead and let the game find someone, and then they play the game, and then weird stuff starts happening. Not only that, but the special effects today still holds up a little bit from the 90s. And like you said, I mean, I grew up watching Jumanji. I remember going to the movie theaters, watching it, having a great time watching it. I still watch it on Netflix from time to time. And I really enjoyed this movie a lot. And to have it a remake and everything, I don't mind remakes because I can still go back and watch the original one in its full content. But to go on ahead and choose a director that might not even be good and a good fit for it, and actually have actors that don't have any idea about what they're doing, is just wrong.
Yeah. And again, it's like I said, it's like going and remaking Aladdin. Right. Would you do that with the, like, or like remaking Mrs. Doubtfire, or something like that? I feel like that's what they're doing, just to cash in on the fact that the guy just died, and so everybody's emotional. Oh, we want to go see a movie that reminds us of Robin Williams by taking a dump on Robin Williams with a new reboot.
Exactly.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Don't give them any more ideas to work with. No more. Because right now,
you know what I mean, though. Like, you know what I mean, though. You know what I mean, though. It's just, I
know.
It's like I said. It's like I said. If you can't better a property with a remake, don't do it at all.
Exactly.
Simple. Like, for example, they're making a new Mummy. The Mummy movies were good, but they could be bettered, especially with today's special effects, and if they come up with a good story. Because I thought that the Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser was way too campy, and if they bring it back to the horror movie that it used to be, and I heard that they're going to make like a monsters universe, like a cinematic universe around the Universal monsters, and I'm like, oh, yes, that is what needs to happen. But like that, I think that can be improved on. But if you take something like, let's bring in another, Robin Williams movie, go remake Dead Poet Society, and you will be a dead poet that doesn't rhyme, because we will kill you. That's how I feel. And that's an unnecessary reboot, just like Jumanji, I feel, is an unnecessary. Yeah, they could better the special effects, but don't do that. Go George Lucas's route. Take out all the take out the animals from the old cut, replace them with new animals, and do a remaster. Okay, cool. That would be better than doing a whole new reboot for no reason, because it really is for no reason, because I think that the movie did everything well. So that's my 2 cents on it. Right. So is that it? Is that all the list?
That's it. That pretty much concludes everything that we have going on right now. As far as the news goes, that's pretty much it for the movie release dates and stuff like that. But, you can always go on ahead and click the little subscribe button down below where Roberto's for his link and stuff like that, and actually check his check his stuff out and everything. And don't forget, look at us for MovieLovers, TVLovers Unite. And I think that everybody's going to enjoy your channel and everything, because I know one thing, I had a good time. I see that you're passionate about what you want to do. So I feel like, this is a good change for whatever you want to do.
All right, well, guys, this has been the movie channel here with John DiGregorio of Movie Lovers and TV Lovers Unite, here with Movie Critic Rob, that is dear old me. And I just want to say that you guys are awesome. You guys should subscribe, like this video, share this video, and please join us for the next time, as we are definitely going to make some more videos together, John and I, because we are awesome friends, especially because DC just released a bunch of new stuff, so we got to talk about that at some point. But like I said, have a good day. Subscribe, like, share. See ya.